Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. So today is day 7, and today is going above and beyond the normal service and doing going the extra mile and doing the unexpected extras that set you apart from your competition, and to really get people to refer you, because the whole point of these classes and this program and the information I'm giving you is to be able to have your complete business by 100%, well, let's just say this, as most as possible, referral only. That you are someone that you do these things that I'm telling you, and the people become advocates for you and just refer you business. There's businesses out there all in different kinds of industries that their whole business is referral only. They don't advertise themselves outside to their sphere of people, and the people just build. And today I wanted to go over why people refer people. Why what is inside of them that says, I want to give you an experience that I have, or tell you experience I had and want you to experience too. So it's kind of like, have you ever, and I'm sure we all have done this, have gone to a restaurant or a movie, or experienced something that was over and above and you enjoyed it? I'm sure we've all been to a restaurant and you've called someone, texted someone, put on your social media something, had a great experience at this restaurant. You gotta go there. And why do we do that? Or if we see a great movie, or we're streaming some type of show, this is how these things go kind of viral, so to say. This is how big marketing companies are trying to get into this referral business. And you can't pay for it. You can't put money into it to get people to refer you. Now, let me go. There's always exceptions to the rule there. I know there's ways these big, huge companies pay for likes and pay for people to refer, but I'm talking about people that telling you, person to person, individual to individual, people with connections, not just someone you saw on Facebook or some random person. We know that works with a lot of people, but in real estate, we want, and what I'm trying to go through in these classes and give you ideas is, we're looking for individual people to refer you and be advocates for you, and having such a big number of those people where the business is just coming to you because of things that you're doing. So today I'm going to go over some things, unexpected extras that you can do that make people like, wow, that was over and above. They weren't expecting it. That's why we call it unexpected. And some ideas on why people feel that way. So a definition, or a feeling or idea of why people refer other people, a business, is that people have a desire to share something good with friends. They have a desire I just want you to experience what I experienced. It's so good. And also, what do they want them to do is that person to be grateful that you referred them. When you refer someone to, I'm using an example, a great restaurant, what do you want them to do? You want them to come back to you, go, thank you so much for referring me to that restaurant, and we had such a great dinner or such a great experience. And some people get so specific. I mean, have you had this happen? I mean, I've had this happen to me, where people go, okay, you got to go to this restaurant, you got to ask for this server, and you got to get this dish, this something to eat. Have you ever been that specific? Some people are that specific. But in real estate terms, you know how that goes is that if they know someone that was a past client of mine, and they find out a friend or relatives looking to buy or sell or have some real estate needs, that they call them up or text them, someone who's referring me, go, oh, you got to call Tony. He's great. He's the best negotiator. He is the guy that is available nights, weekends. He's always there for us. He always keeps us updated on things. All that, invites us to a client appreciation party once a year. All of the things that make you different. And I'm going to go over some of the things today of the things that you can do for people to make sure that you're different. You can't, because someone's not going to go, hey, oh, great, I know a realtor. His name is Tony. I used him a long time ago. He's just a realtor. He knows how to get on the MLS. He knows what houses are for sale. No one's going to refer you if you're just a basic realtor that just has knowledge of what's going on. He's a realtor. He could find you what's for sale and show you whenever he gets a chance. No, you got to have all those extras. It's kind of like, you're not going to refer a restaurant and go, well, I went in there and it was just okay service. The food was okay. I was hungry. I ate it and went home. You have to do more than what's expected of you. And we'll go over that. But again, why people refer? Because they have a desire to have, when they have a good experience, they want to share it with other people. Also, why they refer? Because they have a sense of trust in real estate. They have a sense of trust in someone's character and competency of what you do. So they trust you. They like your character or the person that you are as an individual, or at least with real estate on that, hopefully. And then also your competency. They know that you're competent, that you're going to do a good job. So you have to make sure that you explain or have that experience to people when they use you. And then also, I feel that people know, example, if I refer somebody for any type of business, service, whatever, I'm in hopes, and if I refer them enough business, that they're going to, of course, be that great person that they are anyways at what they do, but also kind of like VIP status. That person, whatever I refer someone to, they want to make sure that person has a good experience because I am giving them referrals. It's kind of like getting to the head of the line, A+ service. They're already doing that, but even more. Do you follow me with that? I think more people understand that. I want to, anytime I go places or do things and someone refers me, I'm going to say, so-and-so referred me. And one of the reasons is I want to give that person credit, but two, also I want the person I'm going to know that, I'm different from the customer that just walked in the door off an ad or saw a sign. I am a little step ahead. I'm in the inner circle, right? It's kind of like that referral club. I'm in a different club. I'm in a different character. I'm a different area of business because I'm in the referral business. I'm in the referral zone, like get ahead of the line because someone referred me. So I think people like that. People like being referred because they want to tell who referred them. Do you understand that? And I think that, I hope that resonates with you and understand that. Also, when someone refers you, they know that someone's motivation is true and desire to serve. When you are given someone's name, you know that person that you're going to go to, say back in real estate, say someone refers a client to me as a realtor, that client knows that there's some type of true desire to help, that there's a reason why that person is referring them to me as a realtor, because they know I'm good at what I do and I have a desire to help, and go that extra mile and do those extra things. So I know I say this all the time when I'm doing my coaching with agents, and since I have not sold personally in many, many, many years, and I'm always helping and coaching and mentoring our agents individually, but I'm going to be going over some of the things that I did and that I learned to do to get those referrals. And what I used to ask people and say to people, just so I would learn, especially when I was doing this, I was early on in my career, I was in my 20s, and I had to learn what I was doing right and wrong and what people were saying to other people, just to make sure, because I never wanted to take or assume, because I never wanted to assume they were saying the right things or not saying the right things, but I knew what they were saying to other people, why they were referring me. Do you understand what I mean? So I'm going to kind of go over that. Some questions you could ask the people that are referring you. One of the things is, and these could go to your friends, your relatives, your sphere of influence, your past clients, anybody that has referred you any business or will refer you any business. You could ask them these three things. One, when you refer a friend or family member to me, what do you say? And that'll teach you what are they saying? Like what is the thing you think about you that they're saying, so you know what to make sure you look out for, or put a note like, anytime this particular client refers someone to you, they're always talking about your negotiation skills or your follow-up, or you like to give them a gift after closing, like, oh, I told them that you're great, and after, you never know the little things that put people over the edge. Like example, there's I always make fun of, not make fun, hotels that give away a free breakfast. I always say when my kids, when my kids would say, oh, let's go to this hotel because they give us a free breakfast, I always used to say this: it's not free, it's included. You're paying for it. There's no such thing as free. I'm paying for this room and they're giving us this free breakfast. But as a kid, they're like, I love that free breakfast. You know what I hated as me? I hated that. I hated going those places. It's just me. I hated to go in those places. I'm like, I don't want to eat runny eggs that everybody's touching and everybody's in their pajamas. I'd rather have a normal restaurant and pay, $30 less a night and pay for my own breakfast. But my kids loved it. And there's people that love it too. But to a lot of people, they stay at certain hotels because I get that free breakfast. To me, that's not a selling point, So if they ask me, like, what did you like? They just assume I'm there for the free breakfast because that's what most of the people are there. Or there's hotel chains that I think it's a DoubleTree, they give you cookies. When you check in, they give you some cookies, and everybody's like, "Ooh, I got some cookies, yay!" And they do those little unexpected extras, but to some people that means a lot. So the point I'm getting into, that's what that question is. That question is, when you refer a friend or family to me, what do you say to them? What is the thing about you or me, whoever they're referring, that sets me apart? That's the most important to you. Why you're referring me, so you can make sure you hone in on that with them. If it's as small as Tony after the sale gives you a customized gift of a picture of your house or a keychain or whatever, or a bottle of wine or whatever, or I've hosted welcome parties for buyers. Like they have a party, they have a housewarming party. Say, hey, I'll host a housewarming party. I'll bring some wine, I'll bring some cheese. We'll invite your family, your friends, some of your neighbors to come over. Again, these are some of the things I'm going to tell you about in here a little bit in a few more minutes, but some of the unexpected things. But again, the whole point of asking that question is, I couldn't do that for everybody. I'm selling so many houses, I can't. I don't have enough time in the day, but I would pick and choose which clients I could had the time and resources to do that for. But if someone's referring me to that because of that, I better make sure I do it. So that's a good question to ask. Again, that kind of goes along with the second question I wrote down here. Specifically, what service do I provide that you find the most benefit for? So what are the services that are most important to you? And then the last thing is, it's a very hard question to ask. It's so hard, but I'm telling this, I never had the guts to ask people that much, the people that I didn't get. There's some coaches out there said, hey, if you get the time, if you don't get a listing, you lose out on a listing appointment. Maybe try to get a hold of those people, ask them what you did wrong or what things that they didn't think you did. Yeah, that's great information. I never had the guts to try to take up those people more of their time to figure out why, but I will. But one thing I do like to do is ask the people that I know like me, use me, ask them this question. It's like, what ways do you think I can improve my services to you? Is there somewhere where I was lacking in service to you? Obviously, ultimately, overall, I was good and great. That's why you are referring me, and I'm better than my competition. But where do you think I could improve? And then again, do you ever, back to the restaurant analogy, is this: have you ever, when you refer a restaurant, you said service was great, my meal was good, but I ordered the soup was cold, or didn't like that, or the dessert was not even worth it, it was too expensive, and for what you get, it wasn't that. So there, unless it was an A+ experience. But when you have someone that refers you, and say that person at a restaurant leaves and refers you to a restaurant, that restaurant never knew that, oh my gosh, if they don't ask these questions, or if they just take their general, well, they must have liked it enough, didn't realize that a certain percentage of the people didn't like the soup, or the dessert's too expensive for what you actually get. It's not a half a cake, it's a little piece of something, and it's like a chocolate piece, whatever it is. I'm just using examples here. But without asking that question, you just might assume you're great across the board. But maybe, like, they might say, well, we might have liked a little bit more connectivity with you, not just once a week phone calls or emails, or we talked to your assistant more to you. You did a great job, and we're a good negotiator. When we got you on the phone, you were great, and I would like to refer you because you're just better than anybody else. But where could you have gotten better? So I think people actually respect that, because I would be honest with that. If someone, if I'm the kind of guy, and I'm sorry I'm stuck with the restaurant analogy, but when they come up, how's everything? Good, great. Did you have a good time? Oh yeah, we come here all the time. And we love it, here. But if they say, if the manager or someone said, I know you didn't love everything. There's nothing everybody loves, but where's something that you think we could improve in? Where do you think we could improve? And then I'll open up and say, thank you for asking. Well, I kind of like this way or that way. Maybe if 20 other people told you the same thing, maybe it's something you might want to do. So just an idea, Next, what is unexpected? Unexpected extras, what that means is, unexpected means something that's not anticipated. And extras means better than expected, extras with that. And the great thing about real estate is there's such an opportunity to do unexpected extras, because no one's doing anything unexpected and extra. I mean, very rarely are they. Let me give you this. If somebody is using you to buy or sell a house, and they've bought and sold properties before, and this is your first time with these people, every agent in the past did a poor job, or they did just okay. They didn't do any unexpected extras, or you wouldn't have the business. The best part about real estate, any agent being in this brand new or wanting to do more business, is the opportunity is there because of the lack of motivation of their past agents, with no imagination, no follow-up, no unexpected extras. Because imagine if everybody bought a house or sold a house, and the agent they used last did such a great job that they would want to use them again and would not pick anybody else in the future, there would be no opportunity, or very little opportunity, for other agents. But the best thing about the opportunity in real estate today is there is, because they're not doing it. So what's your job? What's your job when you have a sale? When you have a sale, your job is to make sure those people don't use anybody else in the future. So many people, so many agents are transactional. They're not thinking, they're just thinking the finish line is the sale. No, that's just the beginning of a lifetime relationship with these people. And what are you going to do to go above and beyond? Now, the follow-up, just calls, checking in on them, seeing how things are going, personal notes, pop buys of things, of just giving those gifts, just cheap, don't even have to be expensive things during certain parts of the year. And one of the things I'm going to go into today is client appreciation parties. I highly, it's been a little off because of COVID in the last few years, but kind of coming back. The client appreciation parties of showing your clients at the end of the year or a couple times a year of things that you can do to bring them together and why they're so important. So I've kind of gone over the calls over the years, how many times are you going to call them? Once a quarter, every other, twice a year? Are you going to send out brochures or mailers or personal notes? You could go on and on about your system to follow up with people in pop buys, but I'm going to go over some client appreciation parties, some ideas. I've had agents do bowling parties, just wine and cheese parties. I've had agents, one agent just right before COVID did movie night, went to a local movie theater. It's not as expensive as you think. On an off night, you could rent out a movie theater for not that much money. But one of the things is I'm going to give you a list of some of the ideas, but remember, reach out to me one-on-one. I'm happy to hone this in and help you create something. But hosting a party, there's some great advantages of that. But one of the things you want to do is set a budget. So if you have a budget, if you're on the ball with this, you're using some of your commission money to reinvest in that. So if whatever your budget amount is, make sure that you say, I'm going to have 10 sales, 20 sales, 30 sales. I'm going to take out this amount of money per sale or percentage-wise to put in savings. So you have the money to invest in this. It's marketing dollars. Also, you could pick a theme and plan it early as possible. A very good agent that has client appreciation parties, it's every year, because it's the same people, and not all the same people, but your past clients, not just that year, and it just grows and grows and grows. And what happens over time, which is nice, is that a lot of the people start knowing each other, not just from the party, but they start referring people. I see very good, successful agents that do client appreciation parties, those referrals, all of a sudden those referrals go, hey, you bought a house with Tony? Great. I'll see you at the client appreciation party this year, and you could pick different themes for those parties of what you want to do. Could be a holiday party, Thanksgiving, could be over the summertime cookout. It could be St. Patrick's Day party, whatever you want to put together. And this is part of a social thing that you could do with people. Now, this is the beauty of a party, not just the party in general, is this gives you a reason to contact people. Because so many agents, they're like, I don't know what to call people about. I mean, I call them 2-3 times a year or once a year. I just to check in on them, how they're doing or what's going on in the market. I really don't know what to say. But imagine if you had 2 parties a year and you know that everybody that you've ever sold a house for, that's in your database, that refers you as many people as you want to invite to this party. Usually you want to see the past clients, people that are referring you, people in your sphere, that's income generating people. That's what you want to invite. And you have a reason to call them because you're inviting them. You're calling them to invite them. You're mailing them an invitation, emailing them, texting them. And then for all of the people that reply saying, hey, I'm coming, you could call them again, over the whole year. So 2 parties a year could end up being 6 to 10, depending upon how many times, calls a year, almost every month, So imagine this. You have a list of people that said they're coming, and your party's not for 6 months. I don't know, 6 months in advance. You could have this down to a science. You send out the invitation this month, they reply they're coming. You call them right back. You have a list of the people. You make it manageable. Hey, I got to call these people back. Thank you for RSVPing. Can't wait to see you. We're excited to see you. Then a couple months go by, calling them again. Hey, just want to confirm you're still coming. I'm excited to see you. Thank you for being a part of it. Do you have any referrals? Then when you get closer to it, then you're calling them again. Hey, I know it's a week out, 2 weeks out. Just we're calling all our lists to get a final count for everybody. You're still able to make it. That's great. Hey, I'm all here for you. I'm never too busy for your referrals. Those other people, same thing. The people that say they can't make it, call them, say, I'm so sorry you can't make it. We're going to have another one at another time. Then call them a couple months later. Hey, just calling in. I know you said you can't make it, but just calling in. Maybe your plans have changed because we love you that much. I would love you to come if your plans have changed. And then right before it, last minute chance. We're just making our final numbers. Just in case you can't come, but we love you that much. That's why I'm calling. We'd love you to come if you can. And follow up with personal notes, mailers, thank yous, also emails, text, whatever you want to communicate with them. And then the people that didn't reply, the people that don't send those back, again, calls. Hey, checking in on you. Would love you at our party. So this is a way, because you're giving something to them, might get you over the fear of having to contact people for, unfortunately, some agents say, I don't know what to say, or on no reason other than to keep up to date with them and ask them for referrals. So these parties, it could be something simple. It's not like it doesn't have to be some elaborate at a party. Some agents have them at their house, and they make their own food, make their own chili or soup or hors d'oeuvres or pizza, have a pizza party. It's the thought that counts. Do you know what I mean? And everything doesn't have to be perfect. It's just because chances are they've never been to a client appreciation party from a realtor. So they don't know. The invitation's there. So there's going to be, of course, a certain amount of people that can't show or won't show, are not interested, but the thought that matters, and you could get referrals. Imagine this, you're calling someone that can't make it, but you call them to ask them, hey, sorry you can't make it. Hope you can make the next one and keep me in mind for referrals. They might refer you. I know agents are getting referrals from these people because they got them on the phone. That's the whole point. Oh, sorry, we can't make the party. We really appreciate the invite, but hey, I have, some friends that we just ran into last week that are thinking about buying or selling or moving. That's the whole point of the referrals, and reminding them, and you're giving them something and then inviting them to something. So I'm happy to go over more ideas about the phone calls, the notes, the system. You got to get it down to a system where it's far planned in the future. So that you have between the time that you started planning and sending out invitations to the time. Just want to make sure I'm still live here. So I want to make sure that you're still know that you could send out invitations 6 months in advance, and you have 6 months to let everybody know that the event's happening and that they're invited. So you got to make sure that happens. So just want to make sure everybody is muted if you can. Let's see there. Just want to make sure here. Right. 1 second here. Okay. So next thing, when you have the party, name tags for 2 reasons. One, to help you, because I know when I had my client appreciation parties, wow, I remembered everybody's address, like, hey, you're the house at 123 Main Street, 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, you were a buyer, you were a seller, but to remember everybody's name sometimes. But the other thing great for me, it's kind of repetition reminds you of things. So repetition reminds. So when I go through the list, I'm calling people, I'm texting them throughout that 6-month period, then I know when they come, I'm like, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mr. and Smith, this, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I talk to them, I call them, I email them. I know they're coming. Also, if they're on my social media, I know I have a picture of them. One of the best things in contact management systems is to have a picture of your clients, if you can, so you recognize them or see them. Over time, you're going to forget. Myself as broker and owner, because we have over 500 agents, every agent that joins our office, I bring on, I talk to, I bring them in. But unfortunately, especially since COVID, I don't meet as many in person. So I do my best when they get our photos of our agents. When I try to keep them in my phone under contact, so I at least know what they look like when I'm talking to them. So a lot of our agents, Century 21 Home Star agents, I have your photo, or most of you, almost all of you, your photo in my phone as a contact. So if I see you on the street, I know who you are. You see my videos, but I don't see you all the time. And same with your clients. They remember you because they bought a house from you 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and you're the last realtor that they talked to. They're probably going to remember you, but over 4 or 5 years, hopefully with lots of sales, they might have been 200, 300 people ago, and you might not remember them. So this is just muscle memory, I think, things you can do. So when they come to your party, and name tags helps other people talk to each other, and also reminds you who they are when you're talking to them. Also, when you have these parties, take lots of pictures. It's a great marketing piece for social media, putting in your Facebook and showing people, hey, another great successful client appreciation party. We did it at a bowling alley. We did it at home. Here was the theme. And then also get feedback from your clients. I have great agents, and I used to have several people come back the same year, same time every year, same people over several years. And then, I didn't want to do the same thing all the time. So I always used to get their opinion. It's something to talk about. When you're calling everybody, hey, the follow-up phone call after the party is a follow-up with the people that came to the party. When they come to the party, you have a reason to say, call them and thank them and get some feedback. How did you like it? Hey, we're going to do it again this time. Start planning and give them the date for next year so they can put it on their calendar a year in advance and say, hey, do you have any feedback? I'm thinking about new ideas for the next year's party, and you'll get people to talk. They're creative. Some people appreciate your input, or you wanted their input, especially those people that keep on coming to each of the parties. And if you do more than one a year, now remember, the first thing I said about having a client appreciation party is to have a budget. So if you could budget it and do it, and also it doesn't have to be something huge. I know when you start, I know when I started, I invited some friends and family to it first to kind of pump up some numbers. It wasn't hundreds of people, maybe a few dozen people. And then I might have, 5 clients to start, 10 clients to start, and it kind of builds from there, and then referrals. And then it kind of builds from there. I don't think I ever, I don't think I ever got over 75 people or so at an event, but I had hundreds that I invited because you're never going to get everybody. I always thought in my experience is always usually around 30%, 40%, not even, I don't even think I went that high. Somewhere between 20 and 30% showed up, but I got all the value of 100% of the invites. So imagine you're getting all the value, don't really have to spend the money on these people for food and drinks and whatever and space, but you're still getting the value of talking and communicating with these people. And 70% won't have the time or can't, so or don't want to show up to a party, but still appreciate the invite. So some other things to think about. So that's a client appreciation party. But some of the things to do, the unexpected extras, you got to get to know your clients. You got to get to know them to see, how to connect with them and find a commonality between people, between you and them. So it's kind of like when you have someone that, you both love dogs, or you both golf or vacation in the same spot. You have that commonality and you have something to talk about and connect with. So I have a whole list. I'm just going to go over a few things, the things to think about over time. You don't want to give someone a list of all the things like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Where do you like to vacation? You don't want to make it feel like an examination and you're writing notes, but over time of connecting with people, this is how you build friends and friendships. That's how you want to build clients. So some of the things that you want to hone in on, because example like this, if someone has, likes to golf, likes to have some type of hobby, and it and it's in your notes for that client, it's something that you can do, excuse me, to go above and beyond. Maybe, I'm just trying to keep, excuse me, let me grab some water here. Excuse me. Maybe you saw an ad in a magazine, a flyer, a brochure, a coupon for a golf course. And then imagine this, you have a great client that refers you people and that they love golf. Hey, how about a personal note? You put in a personal note, said, hey, Joe, just wanted to send you this, thought of you. Here's a coupon for buy one round, get one round free, whatever it is, at this golf course down the street or near your house. Just thought you might like it, you might use it. And then follow up with them with a phone call a week later, make sure they got it. That's how you communicate. That's how you connect with people. Imagine someone likes hiking, even easier. You see an article online about something going on hiking, a hiking trail somewhere, or a vacation, which, top 10 hiking vacations. Email it to them. Hey, Joe, I'm using Joe. Hey, Joe, saw this article, thought of you, know you love hiking. How about this, something maybe you can use. Follow up with a phone call if they didn't reply back. Hey, Joe, just checking to see if you got that email I sent you about those trips, and conversation about trips and travel. So here's some ideas, like, people about their hobbies, their, things that they read, leisure activities, sports teams. You got to learn about people, just like friends and close people with you, but do it systematically, do it organization. You could have, like an example, this simple thing that you can do. If you have an iPhone, your contacts in your iPhone, and I'm not going to go into specific contact management systems because I think there's a lot of contact management systems that you can search the whole system by just like hit a search, type in a name, something, Like if you said hiking, you could type it in the contact management system and it'll find every contact that you have the word hiking somewhere in that contact or in the notes. Under contacts and an iPhone, you can do that. If you have in your notes in your contact or somewhere in the contact information, the word hiking, if you type it into the search bar in your, before you type, where you normally say, looking Joe Smith or something like that to find the name, it finds other things that's written in the contact, and you can find everybody that you wrote hiking for. So the point I'm making to that, when you're trying to get organized with your clients, your database, you could be that specific. You could write just in the notes or in a section somewhere and write all of their hobbies, all of their likes, their books, whatever they like, just any information you can about them. And you could use that database to search. So if you see an article or something of what's happening, you can see, if there's Cleveland Browns fanatic, and the Browns are doing well or something's happening in a good, positive way, you can search your database and like, okay, wow, okay, I have 25, I have 30 people, A+ people in my sphere that are Browns fanatics. I'm going to text them Monday after the game going, wow, Joe, did you see that game? That was great. Hope you were watching. Hope you had a great time. And then they'll text back, yes, the game was great. It was awesome. Hey, good. And then bring in nice to talk to you, communicate with you, whatever, just, you got to go with the flow with the communication. Some people might not text you back. Some people might want to have a long conversation with you, but it's something to connect with these people on. But again, if you do it systematically, they're going, wow, this is an unexpected extra. They're trying to connect with me more than, any other realtor or service person has ever, what person in their service life is texting them that's not an actual close friend or relative, texting them on Monday, hey, did you see the game? Again, I'm going by the organization that they were a sports fanatic. Pet owners, just know what kind of pet they have, dog. So what breed of dog? You could even be that specific in your database. If you saw in this article, like, hey, the number one breed of dog that most people, overall, Labrador Retriever, any other dog, and they're drawing a blank. Oh, it's some of the top dog breeds out there. But if you have, 50 people in your database that have dogs or a specific breed of dogs, so you see an article or something pops up, you say, hey, just thought about you. Imagine you remember their name. How is so-and-so doing? I know it's so funny is we have a Great Dane. We have a invisible fence around our yard. And every once in a while, the invisible fence, the landscapers cut it or something happens, it's not working, we have to cut them or call them. And I call invisible fence, and they always know my name before, like, hi, Mr. Geraci, thanks for calling, because two things that they do without even asking. One, they have a system that my name pulls up, which you should. Every one of your clients should be in your phone, so their name pops up, their name. Two, in this Easy Pet, they've done that enough where they type my name phonetically. Is that right? Phonetically? Because it's Geraci, Geraci. A lot of people butcher that Geraci, Geraci. So I know that sometime, them just being in sales, they typed it phonetically because they have different people answering the phone sometimes, and it says Geraci and not Geraki, Garcia, whatever else they sometimes butcher my name. And three, they have my dog's name there. They have Harley there. So, hi, Mr. Geraci, how are you? How is Harley doing today? They call me by exactly the name, my name is pronounced. They ask me how Harley's doing because they know we're a dog owner. Obviously, that's their service, and ask how a service to me. Again, me being sales, I know it's different people every time, but I'm like, they went the extra step to do that. So that's some of the things, little things that you could learn. So, if you don't have in your database the things like, their kids, how old they are, what they're interested in, maybe where they went to school, their hometown, their birthdays, if you could do the birthdays. Imagine, example, over a career in real estate, you have over 300 sales over a year. You're going to have at least one happy birthday a day, or you're going to have several a month, and send them happy birthday. And I know some very good agents, sometimes they just, don't have the time to send out the card exactly on the day or right before. So they'll send them all out at the beginning of the month. Happy birthday month, or write it down. Hey, getting it to you early, so you knock out all your birthdays over the day or two, so you don't have to worry about it throughout the month. Places that they've lived, so example, some agents don't understand that you could go above and beyond and help people with where they are from. Like, you have referrals. So example, you're a realtor, especially Century 21 agents, where you are, you could find a realtor that help them. So what I mean by that is, I try to explain to people, I could help with any of your referrals in any state in 86 other countries. So if you know anybody that's buying or selling, let me know. So if your clients are from New York, Chicago, Florida, you know that, and it's in your notes, and you're calling on them, say, hey, remember you lived in Los Angeles. I have lots of great realtor connections and friends out there that would do just as good a job as I do. So if you have any referrals, let me know. And those referrals are just even more than what we would make here on the sale. Like example, I tell agents, if you sell a $200,000 house here and sell $1 million house referral in California at a 25% referral fee, you're making more money on that $1 million referral than you are at the $200,000 sale here. You hear that? $1 million referral, which is just an average tiny little home in anywhere near Los Angeles, is more money in your pocket than with a 25% referral fee than running around a buyer for months and months and months here for a $200,000 sale. So think about that. I have some agents that earn more money on referral fees outside the city or outside the area than they do with their own buyers and sellers here. So think about that. So keep thinking about that. So I'll wrap it up a little bit here. Is some things, the last things to think of when you are trying to, these are simple things, real simple things. I know they're so simple when you listen to them that you're going to go, I know this. Why would I even think about this? But I promise you that you have experience in life in getting service to you, different places you go, stores, customer service calls, restaurants, wherever, that they didn't do these things. And when people do these things for you, it's like extra, it's like automatic. Like example, having just a positive attitude for what you do. Now, so many times we get down on the day, and I apologize to some of my agents. Sometimes by the end of the day, after call after call, after half hour, and sometimes those are days of really piecing together problems and situations. And by the end of the day, I'm probably not as outwardly positive as I want to be. So just thinking that this is the first experience with this client, this call, this referral, this past client, this whoever it is, this is their only experience with me today. I got to be fresh and be positive. So sometimes you got to shake it out. I said, I can't let the whole day of whatever happened the day affect this person's experience with me right now. Does that make sense? So having just a positive attitude and be ready to serve and help, that, and that shows. I kind of think about that all the time when I pick up the phone, is that I'm ready to serve the person I'm talking to as much as I can. Am I perfect every time? Absolutely not. But I know it's on my mind trying to do that. It doesn't matter when you're talking to people, look people in the eye. It's very simple when you're to know that you're engaged. Certain words like please and thank you, like, please can I, have your email address so I could send it, please, thank you very much. Just those please and thank you after, when you're asking for something and getting something. Please, may I have this? Thank you when you get that information. Just the please and thank you. People love to hear that, and I don't think as many people hear that anymore. It's kind of like when my kids were little, I try to do my best to always have them say please and thank you. Now, my kids, are they perfect? Or were they the angels wherever they went? No, they weren't angels wherever they went. But it's always surprised me, and maybe if you have kids, this is too. Sometimes you go places and they sit there, they actually being nice, and say if you went to a restaurant and they say, please may I have this, and thank you, and then the server would come over later like, oh, your children are so polite and so well behaved. And half of me is like, yeah, sometimes they are, but sometimes they're not. But they're in that experience right there, when they're saying please and thank you and smiling and interacting with people in a positive way, they're so well behaved, they're so beautiful, they're so nice, because that's the perception they have right there. They don't realize that they're kicking and screaming 10 minutes before we walked in there, but that was it. The kids were in that mode and in that please and thank you. So also be an attentive listener. So many of us, we have a busy day. I catch myself with this. I sometimes stop myself from over talking with people sometimes, because I'm trying to, I'm on a time schedule. Sometimes I got to relax. And if you're on that type of person, it's OCD, ADD, you're like always thinking, okay, this is the 10-minute call. It's a 5-minute call. I got to get to this. Remember, you can't make people feel like this is they're just the 5 minutes of your time. I try my best with that sometimes, but sometimes I have to do that just out of organization. But also some things you can do for that is sometimes, and agents, Central Home Star agents, a lot of you have heard me say this, is that sometimes I'm in between calls. I'll take your call to help you, but I really have 5 minutes. So said, hey, some calls. Hey, Jane, thanks for calling. I'm sorry. You got me right in between calls. I'm so happy to help, but I just got 5 minutes for you. If you need me more than that, I'm happy to talk to you later, but I wanted to pick you up because you're important to me. I wanted to catch you before I got on my next call. That's something you can say too. Every phone call you have doesn't mean that you have to take it at that minute. Do you understand that? I think that people want people to acknowledge them, know they're there. Again, I'm back to the restaurant analogy. I hate it. I'm stuck on this, but I think we all get it. When I go to a restaurant and they're busy and the server doesn't come by for 10 minutes, but if he or she came by and go, hey, sorry, thank you, we're gonna get you water soon. I'm so sorry, we're a little bit busy. I'll be back to you soon. I know you're here, and I'll be back as soon as possible. I just gotta, check these people out, do that. Good, go. Thanks for acknowledging me. Go ahead. We'll be here. But those little extras like that's so simple, but you can do it by your phone. And you can do it with technology too. I do it with text messages. A lot of our agents get those. I see you calling. I see you texting when I'm on, not right now. I got my phone sitting here, not watching my phone, but when I'm on the phone or texting, I'll text back. I'm sorry, I'm on the phone. I'll call you back soon. That's me pressing it, seeing, acknowledging you. You can do that too. How is that so hard? I don't understand when agents to agents, like how an agent goes 24 hours with not even acknowledging a phone call, an email, a text. Well, emails are a little harder because you get so many, but a call or a text or a voicemail. I had like 3 people yesterday I was trying to get a hold of, and their voicemail is full. I don't know how that happens, but imagine a potential client or a referral is calling that agent and going, hey, I was calling, hey, Bob, I was, calling you to give you a referral, and your mailbox, your voicemail is full. What does that show the public? You're not organized. You're too busy. I don't know. So last thing I'll just say, because I know we're going on the hour here, is just pay attention. When you're building these relationships, pay attention to what people are telling you so you can make judgments on what you can do that's not cookie cutter for everybody, to go the unexpected extras. Like I know I've helped people move into a house. I'm not driving the truck or anything, but I know I had time. I just popped by. They were moving that day, saying hi, help them move. And I met mental notes that, hey, they were scheduled in their own truck. They're packing their own things. It's not like a company coming out and they're telling me stories, because I was listening. I'm listening to their story. Like, we're moving this Saturday, and I've had people have their friends and family help them move, and I bring pizzas and just pop by, and when they're moving, go, hey, I was in the neighborhood. Sometimes, not to give a little tip, sometimes I have appointments, but I'm wearing a suit and tie, or at least tie, so I'm not or automatically have to help them move for hours because I have other appointments. But not like, hey, I'm popping by and I'm in casual attire, here's some pizzas, I'm not going to help you pick up a box. But there are people I've helped move stuff in. I've helped people fix certain things, move furniture, but and usually I'm picking up on these things where people I'm listening that they need help with this, where it's that, they don't have the help or they're doing it themselves. So those little things, that just listening of what they can do to help them and go that little bit of extra, could be anything. If without paying attention, digging in a little bit, without making it feel like you're asking them like a list of questions, like this is an examination, you're not going to really know things about them that where they could go that little thing to help them. And then you might be doing some things to help them or to go that little extra, but it's not that big of a deal for them. Do you know what I mean? Like oh, someone says, well, hey, I buy, the closing gift, I buy everybody some wine. I'm like, what happens if they don't like wine? Did you even ask them if you like wine? Did you, while you're showing them houses, did you ever get on the conversation, like where they want, what kind of food they like, or where they like to go eat, or what their hobbies are? Or maybe there's something else that you could give them as a gift, or that is not the same thing as everybody. Like I've seen agents on their Facebook posts that they get the same exact gift to everybody. Oh my God, you're on Facebook, you're where your buyers and sellers are seeing it, and you're giving the exact same gift to everybody, handing it to them and going, hey, looking on social media, I got the exact same gift like you. You're churning it off of Amazon. I'm like, wow, that's kind of not going a little extra effort. You just got a closet full of these gifts, and you're getting them in bulk, and you're giving one to everybody. That's, to me, I mean, it's better than nothing, but you could be more, like maybe someone is, they're a new couple, they're expecting a baby, and a gift certificate for baby stuff or something that they like, or I don't know. There could be, there's so many things to think about when you make a gift specialized to someone, or to help them with someone. You got to know, you got to ask questions, and you got to pay attention. So I'll leave you with that today. So remember, reach out to me, call me, text me, email me anytime. I'll set the time aside. We could go more in detail. I mean, I could go on and on about this subject for hours, but I just want to give you some things to think about today. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining. We'll see you tomorrow at noon on Wednesday. Bye-bye.